pushing in through the heel of my left hand against the fingers of my right hand. To the extent that my hands are connected, the right hand is also braced. Pushing down through the thumb of my left hand. Notice my hands have to expand out to allow for the increasing diameter of the clay. Same story. Generally speaking, 3 times, or unless it goes, just jumps on center. But again, best practices are 3 times up and down, because it is wedging the clay as well as pushing it on center. It won't take long before you understand how thick the clay is, but until you do, it's a good idea to measure it. If you have fingernails on your hand, it is very possible to cut the clay, or if you push down too hard near the periphery, you reduce the thickness of the clay. So a good sense of how thick it is at this point is helpful, and allowing a little bit of extra is helpful. I'm pulling it out to, but not over the base. I'm setting up the curve of my fingers right there to begin to be the beginning of the climb. Compress, compress, compress. Compress, compress, compress. Middle and ring and index working in a kind of pinching gesture with the claw to lift up the material. You can see I'm starting to warm up and things are jumping into place a little more readily. Oh, that was a jinx if ever I've heard one. Otter's knuckle. Lifting up, watching the inside profile. Each time coming to the top, but not thinning it. Keeping the thickness at the top.
When you're watching the inside profile, what do you want?
I'm watching the curve of the bowl. It's very easy to try to grab a hold of it and lift it up and lose that gentle beginning of the bowl. And it's weird, after a while you can see both sides of the bowl at the same time. So that's what I mean by a fulsome lip. It's the whole pot is not the thickness of the lip. The whole pot is now thin. It is the thickness of the thickness of the rim is just indicative of the fact I would like to split it. I'm just pushing it out a little bit with the rib, up to but not off the rim. Just giving it a little bit more volume. The more belly the form, the greater the volume of the pot. So that's an advantage when making functional rim. Okay. So I shaped it without turning it out because I want to split it. Now I'm going to use something that has a right angle associated with it. What a mess. I need a keeper. So this is a nice sturdy piece of stainless steel. So here we go. I'm going to take and hold gently under the rim. Can you see that? Hold gently under the rim, and I'm going to dissect the form with the edge. So dissecting means cutting in half and pushing down. You can see the rim, the lid seating forming.
So you really have to have that center.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to have the top even. That's okay. I mean, we're practicing. You now know how to trim down the rim if it's uneven,
Right.
and you know how to thicken it up a little bit. Trying to clean it up. It looks so unsavory. Okay, close enough. Close enough. So now I'm going to use these tools called calipers. They're calipers in that back room against the left wall, against where the lights are. I'm going to measure this inside span. So to do that, I'm using the calipers in this direction. To make the bowl, I'm going to use the calipers in this direction. It will, to make the lid. It will embrace the round of the lid. This will embrace. Whoa. That's pretty good. So right across the center, it's not going to serve you well if you measure anywhere else. Right across the center. Good morning. It's black jelly bean time again.
I know. I've eaten the bag.
Have you?
Black jelly bean?
John and I have a fondness for black jelly.
That was my mother's favorite.
Yeah?
She loved that.
I love black jelly beans.
Do you?
Yeah.
John and Kelly and I have a fondness for black jelly.
And most people don't like them, so you always get the ones
Yeah,
they pick
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. It's like Halloween candy. Good and plenty is at Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the expanse of your lid. You need to keep this measurement on a piece of note paper, or I keep it up here. Terrible. So you can repeat it. You can, for the sake of ease of repeat, you can measure from tip to tip. I'm a 7.5, a tick more than 7.5. And put this in your notebook. I promise you, you will at times have to remake lids. If you have the measurements in place, it saves trying to figure out shrinkage. So
You like go to fire it and then it breaks and you're like, oh, well now I need to make that again.
make a lid again, or
Right.
you trim it and drop
Right.
it, or all kinds of things. It's twice as liable to meet with disasters as one piece.
Yeah.
So okay, so you measure that. Go ahead and take the whole unit off.
Have you been, Marion?
Hey, Dizzy, how about you, Kelly?
Busy.
Dizzy too?
Well, where's the wheel?
Later, as you make bigger and bigger holes, you'll have to remove the splash pans when you drag your wire under there, or you'll bump your hands and it will. Yeah.
Are you gonna be on the wheel more?
Pottery is a good place to learn cursing.
I just have a bunch to learn what?
Cursing.
I can't, I have hearing loss.
Swearing.
Oh, cursing.
Bad
Okay.
language.
I found out I have hearing loss when I went to the doctor.
It's hard with masks.
Yeah.
Okay.